This is my wall of powder paints for jig painting. I've got everything here from Barlow's COLORSHIFT to Boss Paints to ProTech, you name it. But I was missing something critical, so today we add a whole new line to the wall. So what is this new line? Well, I imagine some of you already guessed, but it is none other than converting our 8-bit bait product, COLORSHIFT, and a bunch of the others into a powder paint by mixing it with Barlow's Tackle Clear. You can do this with all of the different pigments. These Aurora powders are the white ones. Those are going to require a base coat. More on that in a second. There's other COLORSHIFTs that already have a color base in them. So I'll show you what those look like with and without a base coat. Then we go to the Micah shift line. These are Aurora powders as well. And I even pulled out some Pixie dust. Sunfish, that one's going to be very interesting. And along those lines, I've got something a little special planned for the very end. So definitely hang around till then. So if we're going to be mixing up our own powder paints, obviously the biggest question in the room is what is the right ratio? So I have played with a number of them, a little less on the COLORSHIFT, a little more. What I have come to like, what I think looks the best is this, get your pencil, 8 teaspoons of Barlow's Clear to a ½ teaspoon of your powder of choice. So with the ratio out of the way, the only other pressing question is whether you need to base coat these first. And the answer across the board with very few exceptions is yes, especially when you're talking about these Aurora powders, the white based. Just like in soft plastics, yes, you can add this to clear plastisol, you can add it to a light base, and you'll be able to see it a bit, but they really come to life when you add a little bit of black. It's no different here. So for our purposes today, if I base coat these at all, and I pretty much do all of them, they will be based in just a standard black and then dipped in our custom mix. So as you can see, I've got the 8-cup fluid bed out. I do all of my jig painting with the fluid bed, and I can say across the board, these are light enough particles that they will suspend and they will float just as well and coat these jig heads very nicely. We're going to paint 4 or 5 together, but I am going to show you every color that I have put together. So definitely hang around if you are curious about one specific COLORSHIFT or a Micah shift or whatever. I'm gonna show them all to you. We're gonna start out though by dipping into Onyxia together because I wanna show you what it looks like without a base coat, what it looks like with a previous experimentation of mine, and then we'll do the real thing. Our jig of choice today for all these demos is the 1/4 ounce Shake It jig. Got my base coat here in black. Not going to use this for this first one, although we already do have it bubbling away. We're just gonna dip in the Onyxia all by itself so you guys can see what it looks like without a base. There you go. Go ahead and double dip it to get a good coating. And there it is. So you can see, you know, a little bit of sparkle on there. A lot of silver coming through from the raw lead. It's just not, it's not all that impressive because you really need, especially on those Aurora powders, you gotta have that black backing. Sorry about that, knocked you guys over there. Anyway, so you gotta have that black backing. Let's go ahead and do it again, only this time dip in black first. All right, we're heated up. And we go our black. Now I double dip the COLORSHIFTs. I do not double dip everything, but those I found do benefit from it. Yeah, look at the difference. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Is that not gorgeous. Man, oh man. That is a good looking jig head. Golly. I mean, look at the difference. It's like not even in the same ballpark, right? I mean, you just gotta base these guys in black to get that pop. Or I should say any dark color, I suppose. One other thing I wanted to show you is what it looks like with only 1/4 of a teaspoon of holo shift as opposed to a half. You can see how much more sparkly the bottom one is. That's our half. You see a lot more black coming out of the top one. It's just a little, I mean, it doesn't look bad, don't get me wrong. It actually looks really good. It just doesn't have the same wow factor as that bottom one, in my humble opinion. So that is Onyxia. Now, before we move on to the colored versions of holo shift, I am gonna pour this one or paint this one for you. It is Cortana. I want to run through all the other colors that are in the Aurora line. So get some tunes here going, sit back, relax, and let me show you the rest of these. First up, Crown Royale. There she is, that deep purple, man, nice sparkle, just a little bit of pink iridescence. Next up, Molten Core. Look at that bad boy. Like it is on fire. Really looks good. And you may think the green there, actually the whole color scheme, may remind you of Onyxia, but I assure you they are definitely different. There's Molten Core and there's Onyxia. Moving on to a crowd favorite, Borealis. Check that out. Greens, blues, all over that black base coat. Does that not look killer? Next up, one of my favorites to add to plastic, Sonic. This one surprised me. Look at how strong that is. Holy moly. I mean, over that black base, it's like an indigo. It is so dark. Next up is Joker. In this one, we should see a green to purple. And that is exactly what we got. See that green, and then on the edges, all that beautiful purple. So there were a couple that surprised me. Solar Sugar is one of them. Check that out. Is that not? I mean, they're all gorgeous, but that is stunning. I will be using this one in the future, that's for sure. Next up is Threadfin. Sometimes you just need a really good looking green. That, yeah, that'll do. Just 3 more to go. This one is Ghost Trout. So we should see some greens and some pinks. And that is exactly what we've got. See that pink right in there? All these round edges. Another one of my favorites if I'm looking for that copper. See that copper sheen there? Vice City. Kaboom! It's like copper truce. You have this chartreuse edge to it and then that shock of copper right through the middle. This was another standout for me. And last but not least, San Andreas. Can you guess what colors we're gonna see here? How about Holo Shift Chartreuse? I mean, that's what I see, which is fantastic. I'm always looking for a good chartreuse, and if I can get it so that it glitters and gleams like that, all the better. All right, so that wraps up the Aurora line in the holo shifts. That's the white powders, but that's not all the holo shifts we have available. Remember, we also have a selection of these, like Cortana, that have color already. So when I was playing with these earlier, my biggest question was, do you still need the base coat in black or anything to get the effect? Let's find out. All right, here we go. No base coat, double dip. And this time with a black base coat. Still double dipping. And there's your difference. base coated in black is on top, and without it is on the bottom. Would it work without the base coat? Yeah, I mean, it looks okay. It looks pretty good. Definitely doesn't have nearly the pop, though, that top one does. So I definitely like these, even the colored ones, with a black base coat or some other form of dark base coat. So well worth the extra step. Let's go ahead and run through the rest of these, put on some music. I'll give you a close-up of Cortana again, and then show you the rest. So there's a close-up look on Cortana once again. Lots of purples and, what's that, turquoise? I don't know if I know my colors well enough. Next up is Bespin. There it is. Similar, kind of reminds me a little bit of Onyxia, just toned down. I think you'll find that to be true with all of these colored versions. Next up, Hyrule. Very natural, very toned down for sure. So if you didn't want a jig head with a lot of blingity blang and a lot of different bright colors, something a little bit more subdued, maybe Hyrule is where you go. So we looked at Crown Royale before. Now we've got Royale with cheese. And there you go. Got a little bit of nuancy to it, right? Some other shimmer other than the purple in this one. So there's your comparison. This is Crown Royale, very bright. This is Royale with cheese, just a little bit more subdued. Coming around the end here, 3 more. Next one is Sylvanas. And much like Sonic, right, was the really strong blue, this Sylvanas is more of a calmer, subdued blue. Last 2 are based on some metallic colors. This one's Gold Member. There you go. Kind of that deep, dark gold. Not a real bright, sparkly, shiny gold. And the last of our line of holo shifts, this is Copper Pot. And just like the name implies, a nice copper top. Just like the gold, kind of a dirty copper, definitely subdued. So that just about does it for the holo shift line. I did every color except for one. You may have noticed we didn't do Endor. Only reason for it is because I have a bazillion greens up here already and didn't need another one. But if you were curious about it, I'm sure that because it's a colored pigment, it would act much like the ones we just looked at, just with a sweet green hint and maybe, I don't know, attributes of gold along with it. So with holo shift all wrapped up then, we turn our attention to the next line, namely Micah shift. Got, 5 of those to do. They are Aurora powders, white Aurora powders, so we are not going to even bother taking a look at them without a base coat. We're going straight to the black, do a base coat, and then dip in our custom mix, starting together with Trinity. Okay. Into the black. Noise over here. And into the Trinity. Old habits. Man, I meant to only dip that once. I was going to mention that when I was doing it because that was the difference, it seemed, on these Micah shifts. They did better when I only dipped them once, and I went and dipped it twice. See the extra right there? Just that extra clear, it kind of clouds it up a little bit. That's what I was getting when I dipped it twice, which is kind of a bummer. But you get the idea. This is that turquoise, tealish color shift to purple Trinity. We've done this one on the channel before. I compared it, if you recall, to Raven. With a bunch of black in this one, compared it to the Super Color Shift Raven, and they were darn close to each other. So I'll give you a better look at this in a second. We're going to do the other 4 as well, so sit back and enjoy. As promised, there's the closer look at Trinity. Extra little cloudiness, but dip it once and it will look a bit better in that area. Or I kind of dipped it down like that, so as I brought it up, that's where it's going to collect. You could dip it straight down and get probably a little better coverage. Next up is Morpheus. Another sweet purple, a little darker tones here. These surprised me. I thought that they would be, I don't know what the right word is. I thought that they would be a little smoother or a little richer, a little deeper. I mean, they don't look bad, don't get me wrong. I was just expecting something more like a classic, because it's a mica powder, right? More like a classic mica look. Moving on to Iridium. Should be a nice blue on this one. And it is indeed, you can see that purple tone there at the top. Kind of like the etching. That etching is what you get when you only dip it once, because it doesn't fully cure, or cover rather. Right, you still see a little bit of that black coming through. Neo is next. Should be a pretty nice looking green, and it is indeed. Deeper, almost like a deeper green with that goldish, lighter green right in the middle. And last but certainly not least is Tempest. Another gorgeous blue with that purple coming through. Ooh, again with the etching. Very, very nice. All right, guys, we are rounding third and headed home. Just a couple more colors to show you, so definitely hang around. We're gonna look at the Pixie Dust line next, just a few that I picked out. And then don't forget, I've got that surprise at the end that I think you're going to really enjoy. Before I show you what I picked out for Pixie Dust, just three colors actually. I imagine some of you may be wondering, hey Adam, what about siren scales? Can you put siren scales in with clear powder paint and have that float? And what does that do? Well, I tried it and I was kind of surprised. Even though those things are so light and they like to fly away because you have good ventilation and the fans are blowing, they were just a little too heavy for the fluid bed. I couldn't get it to work. I tried, it wouldn't float. So siren scales are gonna stay in the plastic world for me. But we can look at the Pixie Dust because that stuff is crazy sparkly and very, very light. It goes everywhere. The two colors I picked out, three actually, but first one is Junebug. That is this purple to green shift. Really nice. Of course, we've looked at a couple that were similar to this. So if you really liked the Joker in the HoloShift line that we already looked at, but you didn't want to spend as much, right? That HoloShift is more expensive. Junebug in the Pixie Dust is a great alternative, less expensive. Single dip on this one too. I double dipped and it wasn't nearly as good. So into the black, just like before, single dip into the same mix, 8 to a half, right? 8 teaspoons of clear to a half of Pixie Dust, and you get some pretty sweet results. This one is Warmouth. Nice gold, very sparkly, right? You can definitely see that black coming through in the base coat. That is another just great option. The third one we're going to do together. I could not pull this together and experiment with all this without pulling this guy out. Sunfish. So for those that are familiar with this color, it is extremely unique. I did a whole video using just this pigment on the top and the bottom. The only difference between the two is the addition of black. When you don't add black, if you just put this straight into plastic, you get exactly what it looks like. If you add black, everything changes. All right, first up, no black base coat, double dipping that bad boy. All right, second head into the black for a base coat. Now single dip. Whoop. Not gonna let you see it. All right, here we go. First one, well, no base coat on this guy. A gorgeous, very reminiscent of Sunburst, if you're familiar with Sunburst from Barlow's, their Nova Stone line. But I would say it's a little it's a little brighter than that. All right, extra points for anybody that knows what this one is going to look like if you base it in black. Does anybody remember when we added black to Sunfish, what happened? The whole thing turns green. Isn't that crazy? I mean, you could still see some gold in there. But if you base this one in black, the predominant color that you get is this sparkly green. Now, if the siren scales weren't my surprise at the end, what on earth is? Well, it's none other than Mad Micah and the whole Sparkle Me line that Mrs. SDG, the Sparkle Queen herself, helped me demo on the channel not too long ago. If you recall this stuff right here, Sparkle Plenty, right? And there was blue and aqua and gold and red, and then this guy there. They look fantastic as well. Here's Sparkle Me Blue. Check that guy out over a black base. Hello, black blue, right? Anybody want to make a black blue jig to go with some classic black blue trailers? Now, aqua, another gorgeous color. Look at all that flash. Jeez Louise. It is crazy. The mind starts reeling about how many other base coats you could use besides black. Here's their gold. Definitely a darker, a little bit more muted gold, even though it's very sparkly. But can you imagine if you based this in gold and then put this on top of it? Next up is red, but I'm gonna put it in quotations. Here's why. The dang thing is purple. It's crazy. I mean, you can see some reddish pink, right, going on in there. Not that I'm complaining, it's just not exactly red. And then there were two, Sparkle Plenty and Sparkle Sunshine. First off, this is Sparkle Plenty with no base coat. This is one of the rare exceptions where, because the lead is already silver, holy cow, does that ever work. But over a black base, single dip, that's what you get. Is that not awesome? Jeez Louise, like a shad profile. You could, oh man, so many things come to mind. And likewise, this is Sparkle Sunshine over just a jig head, no base coat. And I saved quite possibly, at least in this line, the best for last. Look at that. All that black coming through, gold sparkle. I just love, oh man, I love the way that looks. So many good options, and all you need is a little Barlow's Tackle Clear. This will be linked in the video description. And then your powder of choice, everything will be down below for your convenience. Hope you guys enjoyed today's journey. I'm gonna enjoy using all these new colors in my big rack of goodness up there. Appreciate you coming along, and until the next time, see you guys in the shop.